anime, and we're going to be talking about anime.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
So this is a regular on probably our...
It's our longest
running
recurring...
series?
Yeah.
TNMP, the Nerdy Misfit Podcast, with your hosts, Connor O'Neill and Matthew Hughes.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Nerdy Misfit Podcast.
Hello. How's it going, Connor?
It's going pretty well. Happy... What day is it?
Thursday.
It's going so well, I don't know what day
Thursday
it is.
for us.
It's Thursday.
You know,
Okay. Yeah, this week's been a blur. Labor Day weekend was last weekend, so short week for me.
Yep. I mean, I was camping last weekend, so
that's
it was kind
true.
of a short week for me, too.
How was that?
It was good. It was good to get away. Nice little couple hours
Sometimes
away.
that's nice. This
Nice
is
little
nice.
camp with the girlfriend and her family, so not bad, not bad.
Very nice, yeah. Just a short work week, so not going to complain.
Yeah.
For me. Been watching some anime, and we're going to be talking about anime.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
So this is a regular on probably our...
It's our longest
running
recurring...
series?
Yeah.
Our longest reoccurring series on the podcast, which is the seasonal preview.
Exactly.
So if you are new around here, we're going to first go over last season, a quick little tidbit of shows we may have watched or enjoyed or dropped, etc. And then we'll jump right into what will be the fall 2024 anime season, which looks like it's going to be a pretty fun-filled, packed one.
Agreed. I think I'll make my part of summer 2024 anime quick because, for me, it was a lot of like season 2s and stuff like that, or season 3s, etc. Like
there was a lot of
ongoing.
sequels, yeah, for sure.
So for me, it was like rough because I've never watched Ricard as a Slime, Oshinoku. I'm behind in My Hero. I didn't watch Tower of God. Obviously, One Piece is irrelevant.
What? How can you say that?
In the sense of watch, you know what I mean. There was just a lot of like ongoing stuff.
So what did you watch? This was the season that the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I did watch clips of it.
I watched the first 2 episodes and I stopped watching. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, the clips I saw, I was like, this is not my cup of tea. I'll still try and give it a full watch.
You'll have to give it a full watch.
Exactly. And then I watched a little bit of Wisteria Wand and Sword. I don't know if you watched that at all.
Nope, didn't watch any of that one.
It looks like it did rise up in the list because when we were doing it for the summer anime, it was a lot lower, I'm pretty sure. But now on Live Chart, it's number 5. But watching the first episode, this is maybe a hot take, but it felt like a slightly better Mashal.
That is pretty
based
hot
on
take.
like
People be love and Mashal.
I know people love Mashal. It doesn't.
Plus season
like
2 opening of
Mashal.
Mashal
That's true.
popped off.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed the intro and outro for Wisteria, but also it was basically the same like a hardworking boy enters a magic academy but doesn't really have any magical abilities.
Oh yeah,
but he's also kind of broken, like physicality, like he's really good with a sword and stuff like that.
But Mashal's also broken.
I agree, but it doesn't.
It's
not
think
like the One Punch Man humor. It's like
okay.
It's just humor occasionally, but it's more of like a serious.
I don't know if it works as well that way though. I think
Fair.
Mashal, like from reading it, the thing that makes it work is the One Punch Man humor of like everyone's using magic and he's literally using his fists.
Mm-hmm.
And like the cut to the more like chibi or
Mm-hmm. This felt like it's like Mashal kind of mixed with. This sounds weird, but I think you'll understand. Is the kind of the feel of Sword Art Online season 2 in the sense that he's put into a world where he doesn't have any connection to that style, so he's using a sword instead of guns, basically.
Yeah, fair.
So he's using more of like a physical abilities, like his unique strength in comparison to using magic wands and stuff like that. But he's kind of made fun of for being like, it's not a secret that he can't use magic.
Okay, fair enough.
So I don't know. Anyways, that's basically it. I mean, I watched a little bit of Ayla Sometimes Hide Her Feelings in Russian, which was just...
You were a tired boy.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on to you, sir. What did you watch from Summer 24? What are you currently watching? Because at the time of this recording...
We're still going through the season as of recording, but Oshinoko Season 2 I've been keeping up with. It's been solid. Not a Fairy Tail fan, so I didn't watch any of that. The big one that I was expecting to be decent, and it was, is The Elusive Samurai. The animation has been really great. I do think there's a bit of over-hyping it in terms of animation. I saw some people saying, oh, this is Demon Slayer level quality, which there were scenes that were definitely cut from the same cloth in terms of quality, but there is a ton of scenes of switching to CGI of the characters, which is a bit jarring, honestly, a lot of the time when it's like a close-up and you just see from the torso up and all of a sudden it's CGI version of them.
That's fair.
I do find that to be jarring and used a lot, but the scenes where there are a fight scene, the animation is very smooth, very clean. I do think, as someone who's read a good chunk of Elusive Samurai, the story is very mid. It is like Demon Slayer in a way, where pretty reasonably understandable task at hand, and
Okay.
I just don't know if it deserves the amount of hype, but I will say the animation was very clean. I'm enjoying the show, so I don't want to take too much away from it. In that way, Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russia has definitely been a very fun series, very cute if you want that kind of feel good show. I'm also not caught up on My Heroes. I didn't watch any of that. Days with My Stepsister, which when we went over the season, thought it was going to be very sus. It's actually a very wholesome show. So,
wow,
so
what a
far,
twist based on that title.
Tower of God season 2, big disappointment, but I'm so invested in the story that I want to keep watching for the story because I don't feel like reading the webtoon. But the animation quality is some hardcore slideshows. I don't know if you've seen any of the clips. There's one fight where the main character is fighting someone who has like fire-based abilities, and there's literally fire blast coming out of nowhere when the other character who shoots them isn't even on screen. It's bad.
Was it the same studio that did Record Ragnarok?
I'm not too sure. I can do a quick look here. They did
The Answer Studio?
Doesn't look like they've done anything worth mentioning. But yeah, that was a disappointment so far, and the only reason I'm watching is because I really want to know what's happening. My dear friend Nokotan, I've only watched the first few episodes. It's been solid so far. Nothing to complain about. Like I said, the Suicide Squad Isekai has been very below mid. So kind of might not finish that one. Love is Invisible by Twins. This has been a fun series. Definitely kind of cutesy, feel good, but also funny. So it kind of hits all the, all those things that make you feel good when watching a show.
Yeah.
It definitely hits all those in spades. And I feel like that's all that that's all that I've caught up with.
Yeah.
There might be some that I might end up watching, but I know that there's definitely a few isekai that some people were hyping up, but I did, during my binge of anime this past few weeks, I was already watching some other isekai, so I haven't really wanted to start a new one, if you will.
Yeah, that's fair.
But without further ado, let's hop into why everyone else is here. Hopefully you're here. Join us. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button. Follow us if you're on Spotify. On Spotify, we also have video now.
Yeah.
So
Wiggity whack.
And Spotify has comments and stuff, so feel free to drop a comment on Spotify if you're watching there. And if you're listening on podcasts, Apple Podcasts, please drop a rating and a review. It does help the podcast out a ton. And anything else, if you want to follow us on any of our social medias, the link tree is in the description below. But here we go. Fall 2024 anime. So, right off the rip, we're sorting by popularity, English titles, show all for ongoing series. Because we're trolling like that. And without further ado, we got started with the season 2.
Yeah.
So this is Seirei Gensoki Spirit Chronicles season 2. Haven't seen the first season, so I'm just gonna skip over that.
Yeah.
Going into something I have seen the first 2 seasons of, and I think is honestly one of the best, if not the best, isekai, and that is ReZero, Starting Life in Another World. Season 3 is coming out. I can't remember what studio, if this is the same studio that's been doing. Yes, it is. Okay.
How long ago, when did ReZero season 2 come out?
It's been
It's been a little bit, right?
Yeah, I think 2020, according to this.
Okay.
So ReZero season 1 came out in 2016, season 2 came out in 2020, and season 3 2024. So that's a trend. 4 years. Seems to be the right amount of time for both animating and allowing the light novel writer to write the story.
Yeah.
But fantastic show. If you haven't checked it out, speaking to both Matt and any of our viewers, it is worth it. He's can be definitely very dark at times, but very well written. Moving on, we've got another isekai.
Whoa!
3 isekais in a row. So this one is Ifereta, from Commonplace to World's Strongest. I have heard of this show. I have not seen any of it, so won't be watching it.
But wait, what's in number 4? Is that another isekai? Haha.
Just looks like it for. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Season 5.
Yeah, this
Goddess
one is,
of Fertility arc.
This is a very popular series. Also, one I have not actually watched.
Neither have I.
But obviously popping off. Very popular show.
Yeah.
If you're an isekai watcher, you're eating good. You're eating good. You got a lot. And then
Is this next one an isekai or no?
it says action adventure fantasy video game. In a way, if it's in a video game,
Probably
that is an
isekai.
isekai.
And that is Shangri-La Frontier Season 2. And then after that, we got an anime called 2.5 Dimensional Seduction. Bet you're excited to read about this. So let me read this little description here. I have no interest in real girls, so claims Ukamaru, the president of the school's manga club. He's your typical otaku, obsessed with a sexy, fictional 2D manga character known as Liliel. Then the new school year starts, and a real 3D girl named Lissa, whose passion is cosplay, joins the club. Lissa convinces Ukamaru to become her photographer, and guess who her favorite manga character is?
Oh boy.
Not only that, Lissa is into the modeling, the fetish stuff. The boundaries between 2D and 3D start to blur as this hot-blooded romantic comedy unfolds. So the next one up is Blue Lock versus...
It definitely fits its etchy... I don't know how the harem, when we've only talked about like 2 characters, but...
Yeah, it's...
you never know. You can't judge a book by its cover. Maybe it'll be really good and hilarious.
Yeah, maybe.
It could be. Hey, I just want you to know, when Bunny Girl Senpai came out, it was the cover picture was just a bunny girl, and the description was really not doing the series justice, and that series is unreal.
Well, I'm also looking at this and realizing that this is a carryover from the summer, because it says episode 10 on the screen.
All right, so if you're
this
watching
is a carryover from summer anime, so you let us know why we should or should not be watching it.
Blue Lock.
Blue Lock.
So,
versus-
very popular series. If you have been listening to the podcast this year at least, you would know that we talked about the top earning manga of last year, and Blue Lock was in there. We also did the first half a year of this year, and Blue Lock's still going strong. So no surprises that this will be a hotly anticipated show for sure. I do find that the anime does leave a bit to be desired. I think Blue Lock is kind of filling that hole of Haikyuu in a way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But the quality is nowhere near the
Yeah.
same, which is unfortunate. Then we go on to Bleach.
Part 3 of the 1,000-Year Blood War.
As of recording, I don't know if it's tomorrow. It might be today. There was an announcement that is coming out for this. I'm pretty sure it's just like a teaser and the official date.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, the 1,000-Year Blood War arc has been very solid. I do think the animation quality has dropped slightly from season to season.
Okay.
We'll see if that continues.
Yeah.
But it is one of Studio P's better series for sure, I think. And excluding the original whole part of Bleach.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
They've definitely put a lot of work into this one, which I respect. Letting Bleach have its final arc and have it done well, which is nice to see.
Moving on, we got some more isekai-esque stuff. We got Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Gale Online Season 2.
Finally getting a Season 2.
Which is kind of surprising.
This was I didn't watch this one, but this was a very popular show when it first aired.
I think it's because a lot of people didn't like
I think
Sword Art Online Season 2.
No, see, the reason it was popular is because it wasn't focused on the characters that are in Sword
That's what
Art
I mean,
Online.
yeah.
But it takes place with a different character and whole different premise altogether. And people really, because I think, if I recall correctly, the main character is like a tall woman, and people don't find her cute because she's so tall, and she just wants to be able to be cutesy and stuff.
Yeah.
And she's able to do that in Gun Gale Online. She's a small, cutesy girl.
Fair.
Obviously, there's more to it. That's
Yeah.
just the general like pull, if you will. And I think people just like the world of Gun Gale Online. They just didn't like
The way it was told in the course show?
No, they just don't like all the characters from Sword Art Online.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So yes, nice to see that get a season 2, and we'll see how that does.
Then we got, as I reincarnate aristocrat, I will use my appraisal skill to rise in the world. Season 2.
Yep, that's an isekai title. Haven't seen this aristocrat one yet, so can't say if it's people are hyped or not, but it's high up on the popularity.
Yep.
And then
The big one.
the big one.
The one that you're most excited about for this upcoming
Big
season.
predictions. I think that this will have a big impact on the manga sales for sure. I do believe there's enough time in the year for it to skyrocket.
You've been foreshadowing this, I feel like, over the last couple months.
Yeah, Dandadan, I do think is, if you like the weirdness of Chainsaw Man, but not, I don't want to say, still, it's flirting with that line, but the weirdness of kind of Chainsaw Man, but in a, more typical shonen-y,
Yeah.
with like more comedic elements, then you're gonna really like this. It's whack, it's fun, and based on the trailers I've seen, it's looking like it's
Has
got
potential.
a good treatment. So
Beautiful.
I think it could have a high impact, and I do believe with JJK, ending the manga ending, with My Hero ending.
Is Dandadan still going on?
Yep.
Okay.
So I do think, and Dandadan is a Jump Plus title. It's not a weekly Shonen Jump.
Yeah.
So it doesn't technically replace those two series, which are weekly Jump series. I do believe we will be seeing it as a big pillar for Shonen Jump.
Yeah.
Even though it isn't Jump Plus. Like I do
That
think
makes sense, yeah.
It'll be a pillar of the next money maker.
The Max Moneymaker. Do you want to read about what it's about?
Yeah, so I can read the synopsis that's provided here. So, first of all, it is by Science Saru Studios. They have done Devilman Crybaby, which Matt loves. They've done a Star Wars Visions episode.
Okay.
They have like a very unique style. Like if you look at some of the stuff they've done the movie Ride Your Wave. They did Keep Your Hands Off Izuken, which was also a very stylized show. That's probably a good term for it, stylized. Like they have a very cool style to them. They remind me of Shaft in a lot of ways, where you can kind of just be like, ooh, like that's different. It doesn't feel like it's the same copy pasta, if you will.
Gotcha,
which
yeah.
I feel like, no offense to someone like A1, but that A1 does a lot of like what feels like copy pasta.
Yeah, that's
for
fair.
the animation and art style. But the story is about Momo, a high school girl who comes from a family of spirit mediums, and her classmate Akoran, an occult fanatic. After Momo rescues Akoran from being bullied, they begin talking. However, an argument ensues between them since Momo believes in ghosts but denies aliens exist, and Akoran believes in aliens but denies ghosts exist. To prove to each other what they believe in is real, Momo goes to an abandoned hospital where a UFO has been spotted, and Akoran goes to a tunnel rumored to be haunted. To their surprise, they each encounter overwhelming paranormal activities that transcend comprehension. Amid these predicaments, Momo awakens her hidden power, and Akoran gains the power of a curse to overcome these dangers. Their fateful love begins as well. The story of the occult battle and adolescence starts.
That was a lot.
There's a lot going on.
That was
I also realized, like, I need glasses. Like I'm like reading this tiny text in this box, and I'm like, holy, I am
What is that saying
struggling
again?
to read it.
Yikes. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm definitely going to be watching this. I feel like we'll be talking about it every few weeks on the podcast.
You won't just be watching it. You'll be reading it.
After, maybe.
After JJK.
Yeah. We'll see if it has the Promised Neverland effect for me.
Oh, it will.
Which, for those who don't know,
It'll have the Chainsaw Man effect on you. If you couldn't put down Chainsaw Man, you're not putting this down after you start reading it.
Fair enough. Okay. All right.
But yeah, definitely, I think that this is going to be one of the top shows of the season, if not the year.
Dang, you heard it here, folks. From there, we jump back to another isekai, Loner Life in Another World. When sarcastic loner Haruka gets transported with his class to another world, he's not wild about adventuring, but he couldn't mind having some cool powers. Unfortunately, he's last in line, where the magic cheat skills get divvied up. So by the time it's Hakuru's turn, there are no good choices left.
Oh, man.
Now, Hakuryu will have to take on their fantasy world the hard way, on his own, with a hodgepodge of bizarre skills. When infighting and chaos break out among the classmates, can this loner come to the rescue?
I don't know, Kenny.
Stay tuned, folks.
On to another isekai.
Whoa! Demon Lord Retry R. Revamped version. That's what that R stands for.
Okay. Well, let's just skip that.
Yeah.
And go on to not an isekai, but basically the same genres.
The healer who was banished from his party is in fact the strongest. This sounds like an isekai title to me.
But it's a light novel
whatevs.
title, just your classic action adventure fantasy. Perhaps a lad or lassie not killed to get into this world, just the world they're in. It's an isekai without the isekai.
It kind of sounds like where it's like, so I'll read the description, but a healer gets booted from his party because the leader notices he isn't really contributing much to the team. Soon enough, the healer must look for new members to party with. After finding a cute martial artist to work together with, he reveals his secret. While he's a fairly mediocre healer, he actually fights well in close combat. This is the story of a support who's secretly a DPS, and when the entire conflict stems from the fact that he never told his old party he was a DPS. Okay.
Interesting. So yeah, so this
Probably
one's just kind of
skipping.
missing the in another world on the end of it. But
Yeah.
to be fair, I know that you haven't seen too many isekais, but in a lot of cases, the actual element of that person being from our world and then going into another world sometimes is really only relevant that first episode.
Yeah.
Because from that point on, a lot of times, not even referenced again. It's just there's some OP character in that world now.
Yeah.
There are series where, of course, it is mentioned and it does play a more pivotal part of the story. But that's why these other light novels that are action adventure fantasy, honestly, they're just missing that first page that's like, this person got ran over by a truck. This
And
person
now
got
he's
stabbed.
reincarnated.
Exactly. They're
Yeah.
just missing that initial, they got reincarnated. Other than that, it does sound very generic.
Yeah.
Something not generic, though.
You Are Miss Servant, a comedy romantic subtext.
Animated by Felix Film.
Yeah, anything Felix Film known for?
Just taking a quick see look here. Nothing too crazy. So, I guess we'll find out.
I mean, the
If they
description
cook or not.
sounds interesting. One day, high schooler Hiroyoshi gets an unexpected visit from a maid at his home. With her black hair, graceful manners, and a peculiar request to be hired, she turns out to be a former assassin with the knack for clumsiness. Their encounter leads to a shared life under one roof where her emotionless heart begins to stir. This is a story of a lonely maid finding, in quotations, a family.
Gives me Spy Family vibes.
Yeah.
Where, if you think, like,
Just a little
not
less-
to the extreme of having a spy and an assassin, but
Yeah.
an assassin who is on the clumsier side at times.
Considering?
And they now create a family.
Yeah. Do you think it's definitely them trying to get the hype off of Spy Family?
I don't know when it was
Potentially.
written.
That's true, yeah.
The source is a manga, so I don't know how long the manga's been going. It
That's
could
fair.
be unfortunate timing. There was another series actually when Spy Family was first growing. Not anime wasn't even out yet. Manga.
Mm-hmm.
There was a weekly series that was very similar in Jump, I think, at the time, and it was a similar idea where there was like a I think it was a spy or a guy who thought he was just dating a normal girl that ends up being a spy family, like, but the whole family was spies,
Oh,
and he
okay,
gets
yeah.
thrown into this world. But it was a very similar comedic element. and
Okay.
I don't think it ended
Weird.
up doing as well because Spy Family was
Popping off.
doing really well as a series. And to be fair, like, understandably, it's a very good series. It's very enjoyable, very wholesome.
Next up, we got another sports anime. This one is a badminton.
This one is in terms of popularity vote for Jump, popping off. It does really well in the rankings for votes.
Yeah.
It's almost not even so much a sports. It's more of a romance.
Okay.
That each character is in their own sport and has their own goals as an athlete.
Oh, I see it in the picture. Yeah, one's got a basketball, one's got a badminton racket. Don't know what the third one has.
This
but-
is I've seen some talk on YouTube, TikTok, etc. about concern for Jump, for Shonen Jump, because of losing such big titles as My Hero, Jujutsu Kaisen,
Yeah.
these big money-making titles coming to an end. And it feels like a lot of people don't read a lot of non-battle Shonen Jump titles, because this has been a very popular series in Jump for a while now. And depending on how well this anime does, similar to Dandadan, I think that we could see it have a big boom. And the thing that makes it interesting is it's a weekly Shonen Jump title that's a romance, which most of the time those romance quotes are like, they're more harem-y feeling, or not as like, more of like your typical romance, I would say. And this is more up that line, and it just shows that Jump is evolving with its fan base in terms of, hey, not everything has to be a battle shonen to do well, and I think that that's something that's catching on more and more, which is nice to see. Like, you can still have your crazy One Piece or Black Clover-esque series, but it is nice to see some other things series style get some love.
Yeah.
Literally.
Would you be considering this then? Should we put it?
I'm definitely going to be watching this, for sure.
Okay.
And I would recommend people to go read it. If you want something different, if you have, say, the Jump app, and you want something that's maybe not your usual thing you might read, I think this is a good stepping stone before jumping into your more hardcore romance series. Like, I think that this could be a nice jumping in, because you're not even leaving Jump, right? You're reading a romance right there, which is nice.
That's true. Next up, we got Demon Lord 2099, an action fantasy sci-fi by JC Staff. That studio sounds familiar to me.
Yeah.
Do
you think the light novel author was inspired by any other 2099?
No, of course not. Definitely not. Yeah.
Or is that just coincidence?
Coincidence, because the year 3000's coming and things are probably happening.
JC Staff is one of the people who's brought us amazing series such as a One Punch Man Season 2.
Oh.
But they have also done stuff like Toradora, Food Wars, It's Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon.
Okay.
I
mean, based on the studio,
it's got Konosuba, but yeah, they've done
got
definitely
potential
some
for
big
sure,
titles.
the animation-wise, anyways.
I would say I'm not heading there for your hardcore battles or action. Like, that's definitely why One Punch Man Season 2 did not feel as good. So the fact that this is an action fantasy sci-fi has me a little concerned. But they can put out something.
Yeah, we'll consider it.
I would say, I would definitely say that this is a consider. It also, I mean, the art looks interesting.
Yeah.
For the cover art. So, and I'm into, some cyberpunk. Obviously, cyberpunk came out and was people loved it.
True,
So
it was really good.
trying to get in on that bandwagon, if you will.
Yeah. Brushing through the next couple, we got 365 Days to the Wedding. Just your classic romance, workplace, slice of lifey kind of feel, it seems like.
See, for series like this, I don't know if I'm going to give them the 3-episode try, but I'm definitely keeping my eye on Reddit, Twitter,
Yeah,
TikTok.
see if people are
and
popping it up.
if it's doing really well, then I'll probably end up picking it up.
Yeah. So we'll skip that for now. Next time we got I'll Become a Villainous That Will Go Down in History. Comedy, fantasy, isekai, reincarnation, romance.
Romance is out
yeah.
there. All right.
I'm not going to read the full thing, but just the first sentence. Me, the same girl who hates all those prime and proper heroines, gets reincarnated as the villain in the world of my favorite fantasy dating sim.
Favorite fantasy dating sim reincarnated in. That's
So we'll skip that.
different.
Next up, this is one I kind of want to catch up on, which is Blue Exorcist. Again, personally, that was one of the first anime I ever watched. So
Holds a special place in your heart.
it does. This next one, Uzumaki. I've
Very popular
seen
manga.
the manga
Yep.
wherever we go. It's a thick boy.
Yeah.
So
It's a bunch of short stories, if I recall correctly.
it will definitely be interesting.
I'm not a big horror fan, so maybe
Maybe not.
next season we'll bring on Gray, and he can help break down maybe some of the big series like Uzumaki that came out this season before going into the winter season.
It's true, yeah. I'm definitely up to him. Next time we got Goodbye Dragon Life, which just looks like an isekai. Doesn't say isekai, but it says action, adventure, and fantasy.
And it's from a light novel.
Yeah, I mean, long ago, the most ancient of the divine dragons were slain by
Maybe
a
you should
human.
write a light novel.
Feel like I could, honestly. Next, so we'll skip that one. We got The Do-Over Damsel Conquers the Dragon Emperor. Comedy, fantasy, romance. That just skip. Tying the Knot with an Amagami Sister. Comedy, harem, romance.
This could be good. It could be good.
We'll put that on the considering. We got the most notorious talker runs the world's greatest clan.
If that's not the edgiest picture
Yeah.
I've seen for a cover photo.
Skip.
It could be good. What do you mean? It could be good.
Let this grieving soul retire. Action, adventure, fantasy. Let's become treasure hunters. I'm just reading through it.
Let's just go to the other big series here.
I mean, we got
Obviously,
Dragon Ball, which
Daima.
people are.
Everyone is, if you're a Dragon Ball fan, obviously you're excited for this. This is Dragon Ball Daima. The trailer for it recently came out.
I haven't seen it yet, but
It's Dragon Ball. People are gonna watch it.
yeah.
Whether it's good or bad.
Never seen Dragon Ball, in full disclosure. Never grew up on that Dragon Ball, so it doesn't there's no nostalgia drive for me
No,
either. So.
which is funny because your brother's a massive fan.
Yeah. Massive fan with Dragon Ball. I don't get it. Just scrolling through here, I mean, we got Seven Deadly Sins, Four Kings of the Apocalypse Season 2. I dropped the whole concept of Seven Deadly Sins when they switched studios.
We got a
I think in
Rurouni
season
Kenshin
3.
the sequel season as well.
Some more Case Closed. Pokemon's still going on. Anything else?
It's a big season though. Just scrolling
just
through,
keeps going.
it really does just keep going. The quality does appear to be dropping as the scrolling is continuing though.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, Butt Detective. Let's just quickly go on movies, and then we'll come back to the television. Movies. Looks like we have Attack on Titan, which is a mix of part 1 and part 2 into a single film. Ooh, gotta make money. None of these movies. Yeah. And then OVAs, nothing probably to report really here either, eh?
Nope.
Nah. All right, let's jump back to television here. So let's go quick through Spirit Chronicles Season 2.
Let's go through some of the ones, the big ones then. Let's go through
Yeah.
what we are kind of...
ReZero you're going to be watching.
ReZero watching, Blue Lock watching, Bleach watching. Dandadan watching.
Obviously.
Blue
Box.
Did any of the isekais
Nah.
catch your fantasy? Okay.
I got to get more into isekais, I think.
I might give the You and You Are Ms. Servant. I might give that a couple episodes, see how it is. Could be fun.
Demon Lord 2099, considering maybe.
Yeah,
maybe watching, maybe not.
Obviously, like you said, Blue Box definitely watching.
Yeah. Blue Exorcist if I can catch up.
Is this the 3rd season or is this? I don't know.
Well, season 1 came out and season 2, but season 2 was filler, I'm pretty sure. And then I think spring or summer had a Blue Exorcist season. I think it was spring. And that was a continuation of season 1. And then this is the next saga, I believe.
Okay, I see.
Might be missing, but I'm not entirely sure.
365 Days of the Wedding. I'll put consider.
Okay.
Uzumaki, I'm going to put consider, but I'm going to make sure other people watch it. Tying the Knot with an Amagami Sister. Considering. And honestly, I'll watch the first few episodes of the Dragon Ball. I've seen all of Super, that's animated, which is kind of funny because the manga is going on, which has stuff that hasn't been done animated by Super, but we're jumping into this new Dragon Ball series. But I'll give it a try. We'll see how it is. I'm not caught up on Rurouni Kenshin, so won't be watching that season. And the 7 Deadly Sins, 4 Nights of the Apocalypse. I just pretend that this doesn't exist.
Did you drop the anime around the same time I did? Like when they switched Tutus in season 3? You read most of the manga back in the day.
I've read all of 7 Deadly Sins. Yeah. This is the sequel. This is like Boruto.
Yeah.
For 7 Deadly Sins. It's just like Boruto. I don't think it should exist.
Fair enough. Same writer or?
Yes, same writer.
Okay.
I did stop watching, but then I did crank it out. It was awful.
Fair enough. In conclusion, Dandadan, it's going to be the big one of the season. Blue Box, I think, is going to be pretty big too. And for all you ReZero, Blue Lock, Bleach.
There's a lot of big ones. That's the thing. Like, it's tough to say. I think if you're looking at non-sequel series, I think Dandadan's the one to look at. And Blue Box, if you want something that's not more your typical shonen.
Yeah.
And there are, it may not be our cup of tea, but there are plentiful of isekai if that's your thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, roll a die and
pick an isekai.
Yeah, pick an isekai for sure. So we'll definitely I'm sure we'll give updates as we're watching along through the season. At this moment, the summer season has not ended.
Few weeks left.
I do feel like I should also mention that we are watching Horimiya for our anime of the month for September. So if you want to join us there, you can join our Discord and join the anime of the month in the Discord, so you can chat with us about your opinions.
Yeah.
I know one of our friends, Dan, not Dan.Chan, our friend Dan, who's been on for Star Wars, has actually already watched it.
Wow.
So we will be conversing with Dan and hope to be conversing with you guys about it.
Heck yeah.
And that'll be the last episode of the month. So you still have some time.
Got a couple weeks still.
So get her done.
Heck yeah.
And I'm speaking to Matt too, because I know he hasn't watched an episode.
What? But until then, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, chat in the Discord, join,
hit the bell, all the good stuff.
All the shebangs, and because we're here every single Wednesday.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah.
Every Wednesday, we're here ready to go. But until then, we'll see you guys next week.
Ciao.
Bye.
TNMP, the Nerdy Misfit Podcast. Don't forget to join the island by dropping a follow. Thank you. And see you next week.